When the black SUV pulled up to Sunset Gardens Care Facility in Minneapolis, and two men emerged, one wearing dark sunglasses being guided by his quiet companion in purple, receptionist Ashley Morrison looked up from her desk and immediately reached for the phone. "Security, this is front desk. Two suspicious individuals just entered. One appears to be blind, the other is oddly dressed. They might disturb our residents." What Ashley didn't know was that in room 217, down the hallway, she was trying to protect 87-year-old Dorothy Washington, who hadn't recognized her own daughter's name in 2 years, could still sing every single word to one song, Purple Rain, and these two suspicious men had just traveled across the country to see her, because sometimes the greatest gifts come from the people you almost turn away. Sunset Gardens Care Facility, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Thursday afternoon, May 2013, 2:47 p.m. The facility was upscale, $15,000 per month, marble floors, art on the ash walls. Known for celebrity residence and discretion, Ashley Morrison, 24, 3 weeks into her job, watched the two men approach the front desk. The first man, dark sunglasses, clearly blind, moving slowly, carrying a portable keyboard case. The second man, simple purple button-down, black slacks, headscarf, silent, guiding his companion with gentle touches. Ashley's first thought, caregiver bringing blind client for some kind of performance. Her second thought, this wasn't scheduled. "Excuse me, gentlemen," she said, her voice professional but firm. "Do you have an appointment?" The man in purple spoke quietly. "We're here to visit Mrs. Dorothy Washington, room 217. Ashley checked her computer. "I'm sorry, but Mrs. Washington doesn't receive visitors. She has advanced Alzheimer's. The family has strict protocols." The blind man smiled warmly. "Dorothy was my mother's best friend. We've come a long way. Just 10 minutes. Ashley's eyes narrowed. "I don't see you on the approved visitor list. And, sir," she gestured to the keyboard, "I'm going to have to ask about that. We can't allow random performances. This isn't a public space." She looked at the man in purple. "Are you his caregiver? Do you have documentation?" Prince's voice stayed calm. "I'm his friend, and we're not random. Dorothy's daughter invited us." "Mrs. Washington's daughter is Lorraine Mitchell. She's one of our board members. If she invited you, she would have notified us." Ashley picked up the phone. "I'm calling security." Security guard Marcus Thompson, 42, former police officer, arrived within 2 minutes. "Gentlemen, I'm going to need to see some ID." The blind man pulled out his wallet, handed over his driver's license. Marcus looked at it, read the name. Steveland Hardaway Morris. His eyes went wide. He looked at the ID again, looked at the man, back at the ID. Marcus leaned close to Ashley, whispered, "Do you know who this is?" Ashley glanced at the blind man. "Some blind man trying to—" "That's Stevie Wonder." Ashley blinked. "Stevie Wonder wouldn't just show up without— celebrities don't just walk in here." "Ma'am, I'm looking at his license. That's Stevie Wonder." Behind them, a voice gasped. An elderly nurse, Gladys Freeman, 68, worked there 30 years, had been walking past. She'd stopped, was staring at the man in purple. Her hand went to her mouth. "Oh, my Lord," she whispered. "Prince?" She rushed over. "Mr. Nelson, is that really you?" Prince nodded slightly, put his finger to his lips. "Quietly, please." Stevie smiled. "We're trying to avoid a scene." Ashley's face drained of all color. You're actually—" Marcus nodded. "Ashley, that's Prince. Prince Rogers Nelson and Stevie Wonder." Ashley sat down heavily in her chair. Thought she might faint. Footsteps running down the hallway. Director Margaret Crawford, 55, slightly out of breath. Gentlemen, oh my God, why didn't anyone notify me you were coming? Prince's voice stayed quiet. Because Dorothy's daughter asked us to come quietly. This isn't about publicity. Margaret looked at Ashley. At Marcus. What happened? Marcus. Misunderstanding, ma'am. They're here to see Mrs. Washington. Dorothy Washington? In 217? Yes, ma'am. Margaret turned to Prince and Stevie, gestured toward the hallway. Please, follow me. I'll take you myself. As they started walking, a woman entered through the front doors. Lorraine Mitchell, 45, Dorothy's daughter. She'd been waiting in the parking lot. Uncle Stevie! She embraced him, turned to Prince. Mr. Nelson, I can't believe you actually came. Her eyes were already filling with tears. My mother. She doesn't know who I am anymore. Hasn't known for 2 years. But every day at 3 o'clock, when Purple Rain plays on the radio, she sings. Every word. It's the only time she seems present. Prince took her hand gently. We're here to see if music can bring her back, even if just for a moment. Lorraine wiped her eyes. That would be everything. Margaret led them to a small conference room first. Wanted to brief them before they saw Dorothy. Mrs. Washington has late-stage Alzheimer's, Margaret said. She's been with us for 3 years. Excellent care, but the disease is relentless. Lorraine added. She doesn't speak, barely eats, stares at walls. I visit every day. She doesn't know me. Her voice cracked. My mother raised me on Prince's music. Every morning while making breakfast, Purple Rain played. Every night doing dishes, 1999. She played your albums until the cassettes wore out. She looked at Prince. You were the soundtrack to my childhood, and now you're all she has left. Stevie set his keyboard case on the table. Music lives in a different part of the brain, deeper than conscious memory. Sometimes it's the last thing to go. Margaret nodded. We've noticed patterns. Dorothy doesn't respond to much, but music, especially your music, Mr. Nelson. Something happens. What happens? Prince asked. She sings, not always clearly, but the words come, like they're stored somewhere the disease can't reach. Prince looked at Stevie. They exchanged a glance, understanding passing between them. Can we see her? Prince asked. Margaret stood. Room 217, but please understand, she may not react at all, or she may become agitated. We don't know. Lorraine, I just want her to have one more moment, one more time where she's her. They walked down the hallway. Quiet. The afternoon sun coming through windows. Room 217. Margaret knocked softly. Opened the door. Small room. Afternoon light. A wheelchair by the window. In it sat Dorothy Washington, 87 years old, thin, frail, wearing a faded purple cardigan, staring at nothing. Lorraine knelt beside her mother's wheelchair. Mama? Mama, I brought some friends to see you. Dorothy didn't respond, didn't even look, just stared at the wall. Stevie set up his portable keyboard on the small table, adjusted the height, found middle C Prince, pulled a chair directly in front of Dorothy, sat at eye level, reached out, took her hands gently. Hello, Dorothy. My name is Prince, and this is my friend Stevie. Dorothy's eyes didn't move, staring through him at nothing. Stevie's hands found the keys. Soft piano introduction. Isn't she lovely? Slow, gentle, his voice filling the small room. Still nothing from Dorothy. Prince spoke quietly to her. I heard you like music, Dorothy. I like music, too. Stevie and we've been making music for a long time, and we heard about a lady in Minneapolis who still remembers every word to one of my songs. He looked at Stevie, nodded. Stevie transitioned, the opening notes of Purple Rain, slower than the original, more intimate, just piano. Prince began singing, voice quiet, gentle, directly to Dorothy. I never meant to cause you any sorrow. Dorothy's lips began to move, barely perceptible at first, just the shape of words, then sound, weak, cracked. but words. "I never meant to cause you any pain." Lorraine's hand went to her mouth, tears streaming. Prince kept singing. Dorothy kept singing with him. "I only wanted one time to see you laughing." Dorothy's voice growing stronger. Not loud, but present, real. "I only wanted to see you laughing in the purple rain." Margaret stood in the doorway, other staff gathering behind her, everyone crying. The chorus came. "Purple rain, purple rain." Dorothy sang every word, perfectly, like she'd sung it yesterday, like she'd sung it 1,000 times, because she had. Prince's eyes filled with tears, but he kept singing, kept looking at Dorothy, and then something miraculous happened. Dorothy's eyes focused. She looked at Prince, really looked, saw him. Her voice whispered, cracked, but clear. You're the Purple Rain Man." Prince nodded, tears running down his face now. "Yes, ma'am, I am." "You're real?" "I'm real, and you're Dorothy, and you have a beautiful daughter who loves you very much." Dorothy, slowly, turned her head, looked at the woman kneeling beside her wheelchair. For the first time in 2 years, recognition flickered in her eyes. "Lorraine?" Lorraine couldn't speak, just nodded, crying. "My baby? Why are you crying, baby?" "Because I missed you, Mama. I missed you so much." Dorothy lifted a trembling hand, touched Lorraine's face. "I'm right here." Stevie kept playing, softer now, background, giving them space. Prince stood, moved back, let mother and daughter have this moment. They talked, fragments, pieces, but real conversation. "You used to dance to this song in the living room," Dorothy said. "Spin around. You wore your purple dress." "I did, Mama. I remember." "Such a beautiful little girl. Are you still my baby?" "Always, Mama, always." The lucidity lasted maybe 5 minutes, the most precious 5 minutes Lorraine had experienced in 2 years. Then Dorothy started to fade, eyes losing focus, drifting back. But before she went completely, she looked at Prince. "Thank you for the purple rain." Prince knelt beside her again. "Thank you for listening, Dorothy. Thank you for remembering." Dorothy's eyes closed. She was gone again, back into the fog. But she'd been present. She'd known her daughter. She'd remembered. Music had brought her back, even if just for a moment. An hour later, conference room. Prince, Stevie, Margaret, and Lorraine sat around the table. Prince's voice was quiet, direct. "How many residents are here?" 142, Margaret said. "How many have Alzheimer's or dementia?" "About 60%, around 85 residents." "And how often do they get music therapy?" Margaret sighed. "We used to have a program. Budget cuts eliminated it 3 years ago. Insurance doesn't cover it. We do our best with the radio in the common room, but—" She trailed off. It wasn't enough. Everyone knew it. Prince looked at Stevie. They exchanged a glance. Wordless communication. Stevie nodded. Prince turned back to Margaret. "What would a full music therapy program cost? Professional therapists, instruments, daily sessions?" "About $200,000 per year. We don't have that funding." Prince pulled out his phone, called his assistant, put it on speaker. "I need you to set up an endowment for Sunset Gardens Care Facility. Music therapy program. Fund it for 10 years. $2 million. Silence in the room. Margaret's jaw dropped. "Mr. Nelson, we can't accept." "You can, and you will." Stevie added, "I'll donate all the instruments, keyboards, guitars, percussion, whatever they need. Plus, I'll train the therapists personally. 2-week intensive at my studio." Margaret couldn't speak, just sat there, overwhelmed. Prince leaned forward. "But I have conditions." "Anything. Every resident gets music therapy, not just those who can pay extra." "Everyone." Margaret nodded. "Of course. The staff, all the staff, get trained in music's impact on memory, understanding, not just procedure." "Yes." Ashley, your receptionist. She judged us today, but she was doing her job, protecting residents. She cares. She just needs training. Give her a raise. Promote her to patient advocate. Margaret wrote notes. Done. Marcus, your security guard. He recognized the situation. De-escalated. Make him head of security. Absolutely. And Gladys, the nurse who's been here 30 years. Make her director of the new music therapy program. She knows these residents. She understands. Margaret looked up. The Dorothy Washington Music Therapy Wing. Prince smiled slightly. Perfect. Lorraine was crying again. You're changing everything. For my mother. For everyone. Stevie's voice was warm. Dorothy changed us. She reminded us why music matters. Why we do this. Prince added, music isn't just entertainment. It's memory, identity, the part of us that never dies. Dorothy taught us that. August 2013, Dorothy Washington Music Therapy Wing opened. Daily music sessions. Professional therapists. Instruments in every common area. Ashley, patient advocate. That day taught me, never assume. Everyone has a story. Marcus, head of security. Treat every visitor with dignity first. Gladys, director. Prince and Stevie gave me the most important job of my life. November 2013. Dorothy passed peacefully, but Lorraine got 6 months of moments. Real conversations. Fragments of her mother. Dorothy's last words, listening to Purple Rain. That's my song. 2014 to 2016. Program expanded. 47 facilities adopted the model. April 21st, 2016. Prince died. Lorraine attended Paisley Park Memorial. Donated photo of Dorothy with Prince and Stevie. Note: Prince gave my mother her last moments of joy. That's worth more than any award. 2024, 10 years later. Program still operates. Over 6,000 dementia patients received music therapy from Prince's endowment. Lorraine volunteers monthly, plays Purple Rain, watches residents sing. Come back, even if just for a moment. Wall display, gold record, signed, For Dorothy, who never forgot, Prince and Stevie. Prince's quote, 2014. Dorothy couldn't remember her daughter's name, but remembered every word I wrote. That's the power of music, not for stadiums, for moments like that. 2 suspicious men, one blind, one in purple, changed 6,000 lives because music is the memory that never dies.